another video. This one's going to be my updated Stam DK PvP build for the Stonethorn patch. Now I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I am a little congested. We are feeling a little bit under the weather. But that does not mean that we can't get this build video out for you guys. Now before I get into anything at all, we always got to give our shout out to these beautiful people up on the screen right here. These guys are what supports this channel and what makes this content and brings it to you. And it's all thanks to them, man. These are the supporters of the channels. They're deities and they deserve to be treated as such. And if you want to be a deity just like these guys, I'm going to put the links down in the description as far as the socials and stuff is concerned. Like my Twitch, my support me link, the donations, etc, etc. And without all the support that we received here recently, everything that we have done here recently wouldn't have been possible. But anyway, let's just go ahead and hop into the build before we lose continuous and stuff. This is what the stat sheet looks like. Now obviously this is outside of Cyrodiil, so in Cyrodiil it'll be a little bit stronger. We do have 2.4k stam recovery with continuous. We have 5.3k, almost 5.5k, 4k weapon damage. Now this weapon damage obviously goes up with our enchants and etc, etc. We have 26k max stam, almost 30k health, 13.5k mag, and 40% crit, our resistances. Now this build is not min-maxed, and when I say rates, because I don't have transmute gems. Now there are some changes that I probably would like to do to this build, mainly making the chest and the legs of this gear impin, but that being said, we will get that in due time. Now let's just go ahead and hop into the gear. You guys can speed this up or slow it down if you need to. It's not that big of a deal. We got New Moon. If you don't know what New Moon is, then you're living under a rock and in a cave. It did catch a slight nerf this patch, however, not enough of a nerf to make it unviable. This is still one of the highest damage sets for at least Stam is concerned, period. New Moon is a phenomenal set, plus it's craftable, so you just can't beat it. And then the back bar, we're using potatoes. You can replace this with Master Sword and Board if you want to, but I don't like the Master Seal and stuff, and I would just rather have a little bit of extra damage mitigation as far as that is concerned for a back bar set. Now for our body pieces, we are using 5 Crimson. Now if you guys are not familiar with what Crimson is, this is one of the new sets that dropped with the Stonethorn patch. This is an amazing Xing set. This is not a set that's going to do well for a Zergling. It's not going to make a bit of difference. The more people you're fighting, the more you're going to heal, and it's amazing. It's you get max health, healing taken, max health, and after taking damage you surround yourself in an 8-meter mist of blood. After 2 seconds this mist is violently siphoned into your body, dealing 11k bleed damage to enemies nearby you and healing you for you're fighting 10 people. And this proc goes off. Not only are those people taking the damage, but you are getting the heal from it. That's like a 30k heal. That's based on the assumption that you hit 4k, right? 4k a person. That's about average of what it hits, 4 or 5k. And with this being on your body and not just back bar activated, it goes off a lot more than it. I think it's actually working better than it should, honestly. Now for our other set, we are using blood spawns. It helps with sustain, it helps with tankiness, it helps with their ult gen, plus it got a buff this patch. It's right in line where it needs to be. It's not overperforming like it was before. Now like I said before, as far as min-maxing this is concerned, I feel like I would probably put some Stam glyphs on instead of health. I'll probably replace these glyphs and just run all max Stam because I don't need the health with it. And trait changing these chests and the legs from reinforced and divines to impin is going to make a huge difference. Now impin did catch quite a bit of a nerf this patch. It went down from 172 to 127, but impin is still one of the highest forms of damage, natural damage mitigation that you can get on your gear. Now as far as the jewelry, we are running infused crimson jewelry. This set was kind of a pain in the ass to farm. I'm not gonna lie, it did take me quite a bit to get the pieces that I did need. I'm sorry. So I'd suggest if you're not a PvEer like me, run through that shit on normal, loot the chest, and hope for the best. It's definitely worth running. I've been running it for the past couple days, and I love it, man. The only thing that I don't like about it is the lack of mag sustain, which you can fix from CP. However, with tripods, this build is phenomenal. The more people you fight, the better your healing is, and I just can't stress enough how strong that is for outnumbered gameplay. Now that the gear's out of the way, let's just go ahead and hop into the CP. CP is different for everybody. I mean, everybody has personal preferences when it comes to what type of, just what I choose to run, with a few tweaks for the build. Now, you guys can speed this up or slow it down if you need to. Again, personal preference. Change this to what you want. CP is not, you know, a dire thing for this build. This is, again, how I like to run it. We have 56 into Warlord, 11 into Sprinter, 1 into Siphoner, just for the debuff that has to be purified. Now in the next tree we have 43 in Tenacity, 11 into Arcanist, 32 into Mooncalf. Now the reason we put so many into Arcanist is because, like I said before, the lack of mag recovery, and having just a little bit of extra mag recovery is really nice. Now for our third tree we are running 56 Tumbling and 56 into Shadowboard. For the first blue tree we are running 23 into Blessed, 81 into Master at Arms, 61 Precise Strikes, 41 Piercing, and 64 Mighty. Now for this tree, this CP tree is going to change. Mainly when I get my MPIM pieces, I'm going to take points out of Resistant and put them into Quick Recovery. So once I get my MPIM pieces, I'm going to take roughly however many points it takes to put 47, I think, into Quick Recovery. I think it's 11%. But anyway, we are running 81 into Ironclad, 31 Resistant, 23 Thick Skinned, 49 Hardy, 49 Elite Defender, and 37 Quick Recovery. Like I said, as soon as I get those MPIN pieces, we are going to be putting more points into Quick Recovery because we have MPIN on our body. But until then, that's the setup we're going to run. Let's go ahead and hop into the Consumables. I know they're expensive, but this is the way I like to run it, for the extra max health, max stam, health recovery, and stamina recovery. Artaeum is great. Like I said, I know they're expensive, but a cheaper alternative to this for a little bit of less recovery and a little bit less stats would be Dubious Cameron Throne. But me being the min-maxer that I am, I just prefer to have the best bang for your buck regardless of the cost. Another alternative to this would be Lavafoot. However, you would have to change your enchants to health and then run this. You'll have a little bit more recovery, which is unnecessary for this build, but less health. As far as our pots are concerned, tripods are a necessity for this build, like I said before, from the lack of mag sustain. Now, you can rotate these pots in between your leaps and, you know, potion cooldowns, and you'll never have issues with mag unless you're overbuffing. If you're overbuffing, then there's not enough mag sustain in the world that's going to help you anyway. Now, as far as our race and everything else is concerned, we are running at 10 into health and 54 into stamina. Again, you could probably take these points out of health and put them into stam if you feel like this max stam pool is making me. I feel uncomfortable having less than 28k, 30k stam. It bothers me. Now, as far as our race and Mundus, we are running the Serpent, and we are a Dark Elf. If you guys are not familiar with what a Dark Elf does, it's basically max mag, max stam, which is huge for, you know, your max resources for stam decay. You get flame resistance for all them really pesky mag decays, and then you also get weapon and spell damage. Now, a good alternative to, you know, race is concerned, Nord is an okay choice, Orc is an okay choice. I just personally think that Dark Elf is the way to go, mainly because I can switch to mag and in between mag and stam anytime that I really want to. Now, as far as our bar layout is concerned, we are using Noxious, Dizzy, Executioner, Camouflage Hunter for momentum and take flight. Now, for our back bar, we are using Cauterize, Elude, Hardened Armor, Vigor, Fragmented Shield, and Temporal Guard. Now, what was I going to say? Now, if you do like a little bit more healing than what this build really offers, not that many people like running forward momentum. This is just the way that I've adjusted to playing Stam DK over the years, and I don't really like it with Rally. So if you want a snare removal, you can always run Shuffle here and then Rally here for an extra heal. I just prefer forward momentum being my snare removal for Stam DK. Now, as far as, you know, passives and stuff, you always want to have your passives as far as min-maxing is concerned. We do have Undaunted and Assault Support, everything. The medicinal use passives, etc., etc. Like I said, if you guys want to run masters, then I'd really suggest dropping Elude, dropping Temporal Guard, put on like Sword and Board ult maybe here, and then Puncture here. The only problem with that being is Noxious is already an AoE Major Fracture, so you have two versions, or way to access two ways to fracture somebody, and they do not stack. So I just think Noxious is a better version of that, and it's an AoE, it has a dot, it does more damage, and I like the damage mitigation from Potentates versus Masters for the heal. I think that covers everything. If you guys have any questions on the build, you know, you're more than welcome to drop a line in that comment section. You know, I want you guys to try this because I've been using this for the past couple days and I love it. I love being outnumbered and having an advantage from just not having to worry about healing as much and as often as you should, which I think is a bad trait to learn. I'll have to get out of the habit of doing that if I play a different character or a different build. However, for now, I've been lovely phenomenal, and I really hope you guys give it a shot. I know farming and PvE can kind of be a pain sometimes, but honestly, it's worth it for Stam DK. If you guys do end up trying it out, do not forget to, you know, visit that comment section and tell me how it worked for you. This build works for, you know, no CP really well, mainly because you're going to do more damage with Crimson in no CP, and it means it's going to heal you for more. And it has enough sustain that you don't have to worry about it even in no CP. Maybe just heavy weave a little bit more, or maybe put a reduced Stam glyph on your jewelry. That would, if you main in no CP. However, the damage is fine, the healing is fine, the sustain is great, and I just can't stress enough how good this build is. Now, like always, you know, I want you to go, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. But if you don't do anything out of all this video, make sure that you go into the description, hit that beautiful Twitch link, go over there, give us a follow, because we do stream almost every single night at 10 p.m. EST, and I want to bring the best content to you guys, so I'm going to be switching over to Twitch as soon as this PC comes in. So go over there, drop a follow, that way you guys know when I go live, and that way you guys won't ever miss one. Obviously the other socials in the description also help as well. If you gained any knowledge, or if you tried this build and it works great for you and you want to support the channel, the support links will also be in the description. And that's it from me, fellas. I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.